Thank you for asking. But maybe I would probably hold her head just to be safe.
Are you rolling or lifting? There's two things going on here.
Yeah.
Decide, are you rolling or lifting?
Rolling.
Well, I was trying not to lift from the broken.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's been splintered.
Yeah,
A little bit of pain.
Get in there as well.
Yeah,
on this side.
You ready?
So you're rolling?
Are we rolling?
Oh, are they rolling?
I would,
I would have lifted in this.
Yeah. What
Roll
happened there?
Put her back. Put her back.
Put her back.
Oh, put your back. Oh, there you go.
I would have lifted.
Sorry, Taylor.
Yeah, I thought we were lifting.
Yeah, lift.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, my name's Alison. I'm with Ridge Wilderness, teaching a survival course here today. I'm also a member of Central Fraser Valley Search and Rescue. So this is my backyard. This is what I enjoy doing. And I also work for Arc'teryx. That's my full-time gig. And so I'm really sort of in the outdoors a lot, in one way, shape, or form. I love helping people. I love teaching people. Love seeing people hone their skills and learn different things in the backcountry and giving them confidence.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if we were to carry her, we can carry this. If we carry this like this, what's going to happen is she's going to do this, right? She's going to sink. So what I'll get all of us to do, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll go in the middle here. If everyone can just grab a section of the tarp, and I want you to roll it as high as you can get it. Cool. Everyone's got it? Yep. And then on 3, we're gonna lift, and we'll take her up over there. Okay.
Lift that.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Whee! You guys are high. And let's start walking that way. Watch your step. We're not dropping her.
I would like to be carried back to my vehicle like that.
So we'll just leave you like this. Yeah, we'll just leave you in the woods. Like
So we'll
this.
carry you to your vehicle like this, but then we're also leaving you splintered.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
let's go over there. You guys are switching my side.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we'll rotate so our head's up this way. And then we're gonna lower. Let's go over here. Perfect, right there. Okay, we're gonna lower on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Don't drop me.
Slow. Perfect. And that's how you would transport someone.
Cool.
When you have a tarp, if you roll it up, it creates like a tight line, and then their body's not sagging, which is what we want to prevent, especially with any sort of injury like this. We want to make sure they're in one piece. Make sense?
Yep.
You can also add sticks along the side, roll it up, and then it's a little bit wider, and then you've got sticks on either end, and that can help you out as well.
Oh yeah. Or we could just cheat.
Yes. Any success so far?
No. Are you?
You've given
I think
up?
it's going to be really tough today.
Yeah, it is.
We'll get it.
Looks really
Take
nice
a little
now,
extra
but
time.
2 hours ago.
Great.
Yeah, this is
Different story. Ooh, I see. First flames.
yeah, it's not really all that great, if I'm brutally honest.
Oh, we got it now.
But there we go.
We got it.
I'll get a bit more of this.
Looks like some tree in there. Is that, did you find that piece of wood here?
No, this is treated wood.
Yeah, but yeah, we got it. There we go.
Right there.
Feather stick. This will light easily. Put the twigs on top. Now stuff will dry pretty quickly because it's not sitting on the ground, it's hanging in the air, so the water drips off. And since it's thin, it dries quicker from the core.
Ooh, what'd you guys use for method?
We cheated with those.
You cheated with a fire stick?
I'm never not gonna have a fire stick.
Good thing you brought a fire stick with you. How did you guys cheat?
We used rocks.
Rocks and pure will.
Yeah.
And a fire stick?
And yeah,
And
there may have
something
been
that looked like a fire stick, but we just found it.
It was just a
Yeah.
around. Started
Yeah.
a fire.
Yeah.
Will it stay lit? We will
That
see.
is the question.
Yes, once that stick of fire is dead.
What's that? Yeah, I got a knife. How's it going?
It was good. It's dying now.
Hard to find enough things to burn. They're not wet.
It's all too wet. Yeah.
There's 3 sort of elements to building a fire. We all know them. What are they? Heat,
Oxygen.
oxygen,
Fuel.
fuel. Perfect. And then when it comes to the actual wood, there's another 3 sort of components. You all did them.
Kindling.
Kindling, yep. What's the next one? Anybody know? Tinder.
Yeah, shavings.
Yep, yep. And then the last one obviously would be firewood. Yeah, logs, firewood. So the most important thing is to make sure you have all of your supplies ready to go. I like to have more tinder than I need, just in case, because it sucks when you use it all up and then it sort of dies, and then you're like, then I gotta go and get some more and back and forth. So I spend the most amount of time gathering my supplies, and then once I'm confident I have everything, then I'll assemble. So what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. It's called an upside down fire, if anyone's ever heard of that. So basically the way this works best when wood is wet. Firewood will burn when it's wet, no problem. But tinder and kindling won't. So the firewood goes on the bottom. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna pile it the same way but upside down in a way. So we're gonna find some firewood, not too big. We'll put it on the bottom. Then we'll get some tinder. I saw some of you guys making feather sticks, which is great. We'll use that. And then we'll get some kindling. The biggest thing is everything is soaking wet, but there is one part that is dry. Now in a real survival situation, I'd be chopping down some trees because the driest part is the middle, the center of a tree. We all know, right? And I saw some of you scraping out the center of a tree, which is great. Without chopping down any trees around here, especially dead stuff, there's so much stuff. We can get an inferno going in here, even in the rain. But without chopping anything down, let's look for some, we might have to pull out some saws, but the center of a tree is where you're gonna find the driest stuff. That's where we wanna gather our tinder, and that's where we wanna gather our kindling. And we wanna get a lot of that stuff going before we start anything. So why don't we get a couple people looking for some firewood to put on the bottom, and we'll lay it sort of like a, sort of like this. Here we go, like that, and then, you know what I mean? So that there is oxygen in between, obviously bigger, but this is sort of what we're looking for. And then we're just gonna build, okay. Like that.
Okay.
Cool. Well,
Oh, that's a log.
In the middle, I guess, huh?
Is that right?
Chimneys do an automatic draft move,
Oh wow, where'd
Yeah.
you find that?
up there. I didn't want to take all of it, but I mean, there's the taking, so.
That's pretty dry.
You good?
Are we leaving the middle wide open?
we want to leave it open, yeah.
You just don't believe me, man.
I'll sometimes narrow it a little, but you want to leave it open.
Chimney, it draws it.
So if you are going to do this, make sure you wash it very well and get the blue cleaner off. Just be careful because there's a little bit and we don't want to inhale that. It's not good. But yeah, give it a go. If someone wants to try the hand sanitizer, there's some info there. Give it a try if you've never tried it before. It's just working with what we've got and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And
Just get ready to toss the big piece on it.
yeah.
Ooh.
There it goes.
That's fun.
Yeah, if you don't have a lighter, then you have a battery.
That's cool, man.
There's an option.
Are we running out of things?
Well, maybe not.
Put some sticks on it? Yeah. Put a couple of those little sticks on it. Just don't smother it.
Blowing it in their face.
Got your ass.
Nice.
This man is a human blowtorch.
These are super handy to have, super light, super cheap. These are just, it's water treatment. Because if you're, especially if you're flying and you're somewhere where, you know, it's much more remote and animals are in and out of the water, that's where you get into some bacteria and that sort of stuff. Anyone heard of beaver fever?
Water.
It's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. So this will treat your water. It won't filter it, which means it won't take out the gunk and the crap and that sort of stuff. But it'll treat it and make it safe to drink. So that's something important to have. Water is important to look for. Some sort of fire starter, really. I have these guys. I bought these. I hate them, personally. These little firelight guys, if anyone's ever tried them. I don't recommend them. But you like your fire starter, right?
Yeah?
Yeah?
I've always just used the bulky one.
Okay, no, that's great. Use what works and use what you've tried, especially if you're gonna add something to your emergency kit. The most important thing is that you bring something that you've used before. All too often I see people fall into the trap of, oh, this cool technology, blah, 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 novelty thing, and then they go out and buy it, but they've never used it before. And then you were camping and they have no idea how to use it, which is not a great situation to be in. So simple is better. Simple always works, right? Like your lint trap is great. Everybody has lint. It's free. You can grab so much of it, stick it in your pockets. It weighs nothing. It's probably one of the best fire starters that I recommend because of how easy it comes. Hand sanitizer, as we saw, is another really good one. Works really well. But ultimately, the goal is to just get comfortable with something and just use that. Don't change up your gear all that often because, I mean, you really don't need to. Another one I would highly recommend is a glow stick. Again, super cheap, super easy to get, dollar store. But this is just something nice, especially if you're in a location that's super remote and there's two of you and, you know, someone goes off to wander off to go find something, wood or water or whatever, and then they can't find their way back. And then you've got two missing people, which is a bad situation to be in. So these are super handy to have. And I would think, didn't check, non-flammable. Darn, I was like, maybe these could help us with our fire, but they are not flammable. Another one that I like to have is, I have a bunch of medication, just because, I mean, you never know. Chapstick, for me, I just always have that. A knife, some sort of knife. I have this little handy dandy guy. It's like a Leatherman Micro, but it's got scissors, a tiny little knife, you know, just some small stuff that I need. And then I have a couple other knives as well, but super, super handy to have. Bug spray, like we talked about. These guys, oh, I should have given this to you sooner, Taylor. I forgot I had these. I don't even know if they work anymore. These are old, but
Are the hand or feet ones?
these are hand ones. Here,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You can let me know if they still work. Yeah, my kit is just, the aim of the game for mine is just, it's light. It's super, super light. This is a towel. I've used this many, many times. It works, it comes in handy. At the end of the day, if someone has a bleed as well, I'm gonna use this tiny towel. I mean, it's not gonna go far, but it's something, right? It's just, it's something. And it's got so many uses too. Like, it's pretty decent size for how tiny it is. Every time.
So funny.
I'm gonna start telling people socks, best fire starter.
Roy's proven it today.
Clearly. I'm a believer.
Taylor's dead.
I'm going to assume that all the other fires that you tried just dried everything up and the sock is the final.
Oh, don't put too much on now.
When it makes no sense.
It's gonna go out
Yeah, I know.
just in that one spot.
All of these, with the exception of one, are filters. So this is a filter, this is a filter, and this is a filter. This is a purifier. Pristine, these are the cheapest and the easiest. So you can get these in tablet forms or drops. And then there's two, there's like a iodine one, I think, not iodine, what is it? I can't remember, but one is, but it's a two-step basically. So for both those and this one, it's 1 tablet per 1 liter, and then you have to let it sit for like 10 minutes or something like that, and then you're okay to sit or drink. The problem with this is it won't filter out particulate. So if you have a bucket, and, you know, you're pulling that out and there's like floaties, you're drinking that. So this will make it clean. It'll kill the bacteria, it'll kill viruses, but it won't take out any of the floaties. Whereas these guys will they will filter out all of the particulate, but they won't kill any of the bacteria. So inside of this one is basically, I don't know if you can see here, that's the active filter there. And so what that guy does is it basically acts as a filter, so that tiny little pieces will get stuck in there and the water flows through. This is a gravity filter. You can see it better on this side, much, much better. This one is my favorite. They work great because I scoop it up in this. This is where the dirty water goes in, scoop, and then I attach this to this, and then this end goes into my water bottle or my bladder, or, you know, wherever I'm going into. So these ones, for me, I find personally the best. There's tons and tons and tons on the market that you could buy now too, and ultimately brand is irrelevant. It's really a matter of what works for you, what your application is, where you're going to use it, whether you're going to be going with a group of people and you're going to be the sole person responsible for filtering water for everyone, or if it's just for personal use. Personal use for me, I used to use this guy called the Trail Shot. Super, super tiny. It's basically a tiny version of that, but it does the same thing. The problem with these guys, and the reason why I didn't want to use it in the really dirty water, is because they tend to get clogged, and you can clean them out in the backcountry, but it's a pain in the butt. And then the more clogged they get, the shorter their lifespan are. But it's the same thing. You see all those little tiny microscopic filters there, is what is filtering out all of the crap, basically. But this one's great because this one you just stick this in, and it's got a little microfilter here. You stick it in there, and then you just pump. So you have wherever you're filtering into, and then you go like this, squeeze. And then another kind that I don't have all the different varieties. I wish I did to show you, but this one's a pump. This one's pretty quick. I do like this one, and I'll give you a chance to use all of them here. But this one, basically, the white sort of tube goes in the water. So this guy is going to go in the water. There's a little sort of like pre-micro filter in here, and then this guy here is basically your pump. So water gets sucked up through here, it gets filtered in there, and then it comes out this end, and then that's where you place it, you know, wherever you want your water to go. So yeah, this one works really well too. A bit older and harder to clean. This one has a ceramic filter, and I find these guys tend to get clogged a little bit faster, but that's what that looks like. It's just a little pump. And then this little guy just goes on the end to help it float. Another one that you'll often see, a couple of different other ones that are cool. For like a personal sort of survival kit, you might have seen like the Life Straw. Those are super, super popular. They're like 20, 30 bucks. The problem with those is if you get the proper Life Straw, you have to like pick up some water in a bottle or something like that, and then you can drink out of them, because it's just like a straw, so you have to drink out of something. But you can get the Life Straw water bottles now, which are also do the same thing. You just scoop up some water in the water bottle, you drink out of it, and then you're good to go. They only last a certain amount though, so they do say they're a bit...
1,000 liters.
1,000 liters? Thank you. They can be a bit wasteful, because once that's done, it's done, and you have to get a new one. So that's sort of the downside to that one. But they are... I might try back flushing it.
Anything? Oh, there we go. Clean water.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
You good?
Anybody need some water? Fine, right? When you stopped shivering, that's a bad sign. That's you hit severe hypothermia, and we don't want to. That's yeah. What's that, buddy?
Oh, I've just had it more times than I can count.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with a hypothermic person, how do we want to handle them? Does that make sense? How do we want to
Treat them.
treat them? Yeah.
Slow warm?
Slow, yeah. Slow. Anything else? No? Okay, yeah. Slowly, carefully. We never want to stand them upright. You always want to keep them horizontal. Does anybody know why?
Blood
Blood flow. Yeah, yeah. Their body is fighting really, really hard to keep. So everything's slowing down. First of all, everything is really, really slow. All of their arteries have gone into what's called a fancy word called vasoconstriction, which means your arteries have constricted. Right? When we sweat, our arteries expand, and that's when you get tons and tons of blood flow. When you're sweating and you're red and you're heated. In hypothermia, the opposite happens, where everything slows down because your body's trying to protect itself. Your body's trying to stay alive, basically. So what happens is if you jostle someone too quickly or you stand them up, you can send them into, does anybody know?
shock.
Hypothermic shock? Yes, something to do with the heart.
Oh,
A big
Cardiac arrest.
cardiac arrest, exactly. You can send them into cardiac arrest, which then means you need CPR, and that's a bad place. And so you never want to jostle them or move them around too quickly. The other thing too is the fastest way to warm someone is their core. So if you have those heat pads that I gave you, the heat packs, you can put them in like their armpits, groin, throat, but in the trunk area, right, the midsection. Toque over the head is another really important one. You lose a lot of heat through your head, so that's a good one to warm up. What's another way? Let's say we had a stove. How else could we warm them up? If we had a stove.
Feet stones.
Tea.
Tea? Yeah, you could give them tea.
Open the oven.
Something on that note, actually, something warm and sugary because you're giving them calories. Because shivering takes energy. Energy takes calories, and therefore you want some sugar in them to sort of get them sort of back to regular. The other thing you want to do is you could boil water. You were right, boil water. Put it in an Nalgene water bottle and put it in their armpits, you know, in their core or something like that. Has anyone ever camped before and put a warm Nalgene water bottle at the base of their sleeping bag? It's another really way to warm up your body, especially before you get into your sleeping bag. Boil some water, throw it in the bottom, make sure it's tight, and you leave it in there for a little bit, and then you get in your nice little warm toasty sleeping bag, and then you have a nice sleep. But yeah, so with the burrito, the first layer we want to put on is, we'll call it the shell. After that, I have no more examples food related. So if somebody wants to grab that, and we'll throw it over the rope. Yeah, we want to open it up. Maybe let's go the other way. Perfect. So then the next thing we would want on here is some sort of insulating layer. So let's grab that one and maybe the other one. Ideally, this would be something like a sleeping pad of defense. The other really nice thing about this, and the reason why we want to have it, is let's say she jumped in the lake and she came out and she's soaking wet. It's great that we have a sleeping bag, but if she gets in right into the sleeping bag and then she gets the sleeping bag wet, well, I mean, it's not going to keep her warm anymore because now that sleeping bag is soaked. Yeah, so that's why we want a water barrier, a moisture barrier, so that this keeps her dry inside. So we're going to wrap this around with this. Kind of like that.
Maybe, over the head? Not over the head?
Maybe not over the head. If we like her. I think we do.
Except for the bait.
Except for the bait, okay. Perfect.
Go to sleep.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, before we wrap before we do the sides, we're gonna do the bottom first. Think of those little McDonald's wrap snackers, you know, they pull the bottom up and then the side. Kind of like that, because that's gonna keep her body.
No more food related.
I like relating things to food. And then we'll do the sides. So, and one side is longer than the other, which is totally fine, because if it is raining or it's wet, the water's gonna drip off and it's gonna land on the side. Whereas if we had the middle seam in the middle like this and water's dripping in, it's gonna go inside of here. Okay, perfect. And so now with the rope, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie it up and this is gonna secure her. So, on this side, can you tie a loop on that end? It doesn't matter what knot, overhand knot is totally fine. We just want to tie a loop of any kind. Oh, overhand knot is fine. Always going fancy, going with a bowline. That works too. Perfect. Okay, so then this gets put, you've done this before, haven't you? Perfect. That goes through there. And then we're gonna grab that end. We've made these a little too long, but that's all right. And then that loop. Yep. Perfect. We gotta crank these a little though.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Too much rope.
All right.
Are you feeling warm yet?
Me?
No, Roy.
Starting to get a little
Fire going.
Let's.
Yeah.
One second. Can we pull this one through?
Barely.
There we go. That one needs to go through. I might even be able to go through more.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. One second here. We lost our loop over here. We should have a loop. So this is gonna.
This was the end.
Okay. Yep, that works. Perfect. So then we can tie it up on that side. Yeah, it's nice to have a few more loops than you need.
Yeah, we have to
Oh.
I said maybe do that as a last resort.
That also
A little
I
loops.
know you're hungry.
So essentially what we're creating is like a zigzag.
Cinch her up, Ed. Cinch her up.
That's a burrito.
It's too much red.
It's, yeah, that's all right. It works.
Yeah, you can like tourniquet it. Kind of cinch it up if you need to.
Are you warmer in there than out here?
100%.
Okay, hold on a second.
That's it. We're leaving you here.
All right, and we're done. Let's go home, everyone. Just
See ya. Good luck.
Bye, Taylor.
Or in the bed of the truck. You're there in the bed of the back.
Pretty good. What do you got going on here?
We're fixing his arm.
His arm.
I hurt it so badly.
Oh no.
Taking care
Don't worry,
of
I'm
him.
in good hands.
Literally.
I hope.
Dr. Sandwich.
Dr. Sandwich.
Dog sandwich.
It's like you've done this before.
A couple of times.
And make sure both partners get a chance to try.
Oh god, I'm gonna pass out.
No survive. Well done.
Right? Because you've got this, this, this. So now you can't move this way or this way or this way. And so you just place that over top. You can put that in their clothing as well. And then you just take the tape around their wrist, tape it here, tape it here. They're not going to move. And if they are, they're going to follow, their arm's going to stay in this same shape instead of doing all of this sort of stuff. So this works really well as well. Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay.
Want to set me
We
free?
are
Want to set me free, Dad?
a little harder when it's wet though. Because if they're broken here and they're moving this way, they're flexing, then that's also gonna, there's muscles in here that are gonna cause pain and all that sort of stuff. So you want to try and immobilize from the toe down all the way up. So you've got this right here. If you've got anything coming out of there, let's say you've got a bone coming out of there, you would treat that as an open wound. We would never take it out, we would leave it in. Put something around, and then we are going to splint on either side, and then ideally something on the bottom to keep them from doing this, to keep everything mobile. Does that make sense? Immobile, sorry.
Do you
Cool.
remove shoes or keep them on?
Typically, yes. Although it really depends on the situation. At the very least, you want to undo and make it loose, and you want to see in there. But you don't have to, especially if it's in the shin, and this is all okay. You don't have to, but it's nice to check their cap refill, which you're probably aware about, with their toe, but we won't get into that. We'll leave shoes on for now. So let's go group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 groups of
What do we got here?
His beautiful project.
Broken leg.
How's that?
Not quite. I know. So remember, this one is coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one. Effectively, this needs to point towards my joint, so that side.
Yeah.
This comes over, so it's actually supporting my arm.
I see it now. Good.
So you want it underneath.
Underneath.
Yeah. Oh, that works too.
Is that a little high? Or is that...
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, I think she said...
You can do whatever you want with that.
I don't like that.
No, chicken wing is protected.
There you go.
There you go.
No?
We'll make a fire. Get on this.
So another sort of improvised one here. If you only have a crepe bandage, is do this.
Cool. Look at that.
And if it's long enough, oh, it is. Tie it around. You can lift that arm actually. Oh, there we go. Secure it to his body so that it's secured. It's not the best, but improvised.